What's up, guys? So it's been a long time since I've done a video, but I was recording intraday CVSI once I saw it kind of snap 8 that I wanted to go ahead and see if I could get this trade recorded live. My microphone was turned off during the middle of the day, so I'm going to go ahead and narrate over the top of it. Because I was kind of explaining some things as it was actually trading, because you can see my mouse move around. You can see me zoom in and out. So the things that I very specifically look for on these is, number one, I like to get a feel for how it's trading, which means even if it's 100 shares, at least that I'm looking at it with the eyes of being in it. And sometimes that's what a feeler is. Maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 100, doesn't matter. It all depends on you. Sometimes for me it's 100, 200, something that it's inconsequential to, the monetary trade itself. So I went ahead and I think it was really early. I think I bought right around 730s or 720 something. I think it was only 250 shares just to keep it on my radar. Nothing that I cared about whether it went down to zero or not. It just put it on my screen, and it allowed me to get a feel for the stock a little bit better versus just having my eyes on it watching it. So there's quite a few things that I'm explaining while it's actually going live right here, and I couldn't record any other parts of my screen, so I'm just going to go off of the the TOS and the level 2. So over on the right hand side, I'm explaining essentially the offers that are coming through, and constantly, even after 750s on the right hand side, right now it's 717, the offers are stacked with basically every single market maker, and it goes all the way down. I think it was like 7 or 8, and that's the one thing you want to constantly look for when there's these plays that are going on. And a bounce can happen pretty much anywhere, but there's very specific things that I look for. I look for, on the left-hand side, I look for a specific build for offers, whether it's 2 or 3. Usually 3 is kind of the absolute minimum for me to even take a shot at it. But it all depends on the downside on the right-hand side, as far as everybody who's looking to sell or panic out, and on the left-hand side where everybody's looking to just buy. That's just simple level 2. But being early is going to have more consequences than being late. And I'd rather always miss these trades than to be way early. So after I took the starter, I knew that I was way wrong, which I was totally fine with. So I was expecting maybe 7 washout. Maybe it'll hold green, and kind of going from there. However, the action was still so heavy on all the offers the entire way down that I figured, I might even do 6. So a 6 washout is what I thought of as soon as I saw it just crack red, which it does happen here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to just speed it up until we get closer to that bounce area, and then I'll give you a little bit more of the commentary, because the action is the exact same on level 2 the entire way down until we get to that bounce area. So once it gets really close right here on 6, I'm still thinking, all right, maybe it's a 6 washout. Going to look to see if there's any specific different action, and it still remained the exact same, even under 590s. So even right here, my plan was look for the 6 play, but all the offers still were constant. It was just like, and it's such a rare occurrence that this happens, where you literally get, a half an hour of straight red candles. I haven't seen this since 2013. This is why I just got so lucky and recorded this. But even through here, it's still heavy as I've ever seen it on the offer side. Nobody is looking to catch this at any point within the 580s, 590s area. So now I'm thinking 550s is likely going to happen, and it might happen really fast. So as you can see, once I speed it up here, it goes right through onto 550s, and then I'll go ahead and slow it down and give you kind of step-by-step my thought process of the entry. So after we wash through the 550 area there, the next thing I'm looking for is obviously that very, very specific level 2 action. So right at this point, I'm thinking, all right, it's got to be pretty close. I'm over at my order screens. I'm setting up my orders. I'm actually putting in 540s because if this goes through 530s, 520s, I want to be able to make sure I get filled at least some of those, and I'm willing to pay up through 540. So I already have my orders set. They're ready to go. All I got to do is fire it off right when I see the exact action that I want, and I'm willing to pay up a little bit extra for those because I was super confident that 550 is sub there. It's going to at least bounce up through 6 at this point. So the 533s, 532s are still getting hit. It still looks super heavy. Same action as the entire way down. Number one, my confidence is a little bit higher. Now there's a 5-cent spread. Now that 5-cent spread is gone, and I'm looking for a very specific print because there's 520s. Now 525 bid comes, but what you're going to see is an immediate reversal. Somebody goes ahead and they step in, and somebody puts in about, I think it's a 300,000 probably order, and it goes through just in small blocks because it's likely hundreds of people that are trying to sell all at once. You get the 517 print, but then it's very, very subtle, and we'll go ahead and just kind of watch it as it happens here. Now you got 3 like I was mentioning earlier. Now it's 5 on the left side. I immediately put in my order pretty much right here, and it takes a little bit of time for it to go through. I get filled immediately some shares. I think it was 532s, and I think 36s I got a little bit. Then I got it on this pullback right here is where they filled me at 530s. And I think it was 532 was the other highest one. And I did get a little bit at 540, and that might be even my order that's sitting right there at 1,000 for like the last remaining bits that I had. I don't even think that those got filled, and I think that's why I was like, oh, I didn't get filled by full size. And it immediately rebounds. This is kind of what even Nate mentions, upticking on air. So as far as that specific action, hopefully if you just rewatch this over and over again, and you watch this, the sped up version that I posted on Twitter as well, you'll see where that build happened at 3, 5, and that right there to me was the first signal that I had seen in about 40 minutes to take a shot at this. So I went about probably 3/4 to full size. I didn't get filled everything, but at this point, as soon as I see it upticking 585s, you know, on the offer side, it's still at 70s and 74s. So I have very high likelihood confidence that it's going through 6. And really, that's the only trade that I wanted. But since I didn't get the full size, I didn't have, you know, my entire mental capacity that was in this specific trade as far as, you know, I'm not looking at every tick. So, again, on the upside, all I'm looking for is the same thing, now reversed. So the left side's going to be building, the right side's going to be thin. And if there's any very obvious move, and sometimes they do it sooner, is they just drop it, they print it about 10 cents lower, and then they uptick it, and then that's when I go to hammer every offer that's there. And I'm fine with taking liquidity, especially on a play like this. It's not really a concern to me anymore is taking liquidity because the brokers that I use, it doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and I'll speed it up to where the sells occurred, because I think I sold half right over 6 because I just wanted to be able to have, you know, as much time frame as possible because I always sell these early, and I did not want to do that today. So I was hoping for maybe a 7. 650 max, but I'm going to go ahead and speed it up again to give you an idea of where that next reversal was. So right after it came through the 660s, what I wanted to look for is any sort of sign, whether it be a large uptick by like 5-6 cents all at once, or any of the flash drop offers where they just go ahead and smoke as many bids as they can, and then you still have other people that see that, but they're still putting in their buy orders or their cover orders. So even right here, I'm like, okay, this might even test 7. Still might test 7. So, and that's what I'm thinking, and I've already blocked in half, which I had mentioned in chat. And all I'm looking for is just a sign to sell. And as obvious as that might seem, like, oh, it just bounced, you know, $1.50 from where I bought it. Well, not $1.50. I think I got 32s, like I mentioned. But the one thing that I'm looking for is just any specific small sign to sell. And I'm just waiting very patiently, more patient than I normally am. But I think it comes pretty soon here. Once it touches, I think, 673s. You'll see here in just a moment where it downticks to like 650, comes right back up, and that's immediately, so it happens right there, 650s. They print maybe 20,000, 640s, and I'm putting in my order, I'm essentially slamming at 655, I think is where I put it, which I was happy with, but I actually got filled everything at 671s. So essentially I was done with the trade there. I think that those might have been my orders, some of them. But I was happy with the overall trade. And that is essentially just an example of kind of reading level 2, taking the risk reward bounce opportunity play, and then looking for just one specific sign to sell. So what I would do is I'd just have you rewatch this over and over again, just to get an idea of what I look for on these specific bounce plays and what I look for on exits of these. So hopefully you guys learned something from this. Let me know in the comments, or just let me know on Twitter, wherever, whether or not you guys like this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sped up version right at the very end, so you'll be able to watch this just fluidly for sped up 20-25 times. So hope you guys enjoy the video.